peace and love, everyone. Welcome to another segment. Wait, this looks a little bright. We have a special guest that's going to be coming in pretty soon. Hopefully you all can hear me. And as he comes in, we're doing a total dreadlock or lock meeting today. I think this light is too bright. So just waiting for our special guest to come in and then we'll get started. Okay. So this is a person that I've been following for a while. A lot of you all probably know him. Wait, we might be having some issues. Oh, no, we don't. Okay. Okay, I'm just waiting for him to come in and here he is. Let's see if this works. Hey, Seb, can you hear me?
Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. Finally. Right. They were trying to keep us away from each other. You know that, right? So, our energy is just too strong. So something was trying to keep us apart. Finally, it is so good to see you, Seb. Thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure.
I appreciate it. You're looking very nice, very divine, as always. I've been following you for a while, and I'm just happy to have you on. And you're one of the first people that I've had on and that we're actually going to be talking about a straight journey, a dreadlock journey. Okay.
Right.
So, we're going to keep it totally organic. I want you to feel free to talk about whatever it is that you feel. We're going to keep it short because you know that people have kind of short attention span. So we're going to just make it so that, we give them just enough, but not too much. So,
sounds good to me.
Yeah. So how long have you been rocking? Do you prefer to call them locks or do you mind being called dreads?
Yeah, I am not really a stickler for, I guess, either or, because I don't think that everyone that says dreads or dreadlocks,
right,
has ill intentions. So I try not to be too much of a stickler. In terms of what I normally say locks, but I'm okay with people saying dreads or dreadlocks.
Okay. All right. I always say dreads, but because, I'm talking to you, I'll say locks. Okay.
Fine. Whatever comes out.
Okay, fine. If I happen to say dreads, it's because that's what I'm so accustomed to saying.
Exactly.
But yeah, how long have you been rocking? How long have you been rocking your locks?
Since, let's see, August 14th, 2014. No, yeah, August 16th, 2014. That's when my mom put in my comb coils. So over 6 years, I'll be approaching 7 years in August.
Wow. Okay. And how long have you been on YouTube? Let me see. Can I see? I can't see like your whole length. Wow.
In the video that I'll be putting out soon, I'm going to do a length check. I'm not really into doing that stuff.
I'm not into the length thing either, but I was just so shocked because the last video I've seen of yours, it's been a minute because I kind of stayed away from social media for a couple months. And the last video I saw, I knew you had some length, but I didn't know you had some length. And
we're still not a Queen Empress length, but yeah.
But that's one of the first things that people want to know. It's like, well, how long are you? How far down do they go, and how long, whatever, and how many do you have? Do you have like I don't know. People have preconceived notions about people who rock locks or dreads or whatever. Mm-hmm. What are some of your pet peeves about some of the misconceptions that people have about people who, rock dreads or locks?
Yeah, and there are many. I would say, that a big pet peeve when it comes to just, I don't know, just misperceptions, if you will, is that everyone, like the person with locks is associated with like criminal activity, or that they're lazy, or unintelligent, or practice poor hygiene. It's like, you don't know me. The only thing that have locks, there's so much more to a person who has locks than their locks.
Absolutely.
So it's just, it's crazy. It's like if I randomly saw one person on the street and picked out something about them, and then felt like I knew, you know, who
That's,
they were.
yeah, I completely 100% understand. And that's the reason why I've kind of made a shift in my channel, you know, because I'm like, it's so much more to me than just my hair. I mean, it's a lot more to me. I mean, I'm multidimensional, you know, multifaceted, all of that, you know. So it's like, don't just concentrate on my hair, concentrate on my essence of who I am. You know what I mean? Try to get to know me, try to learn a little bit more about me instead of just, oh, okay, well, she's this, she's just a dread. That's it, you know.
Yeah.
And no, that's so far from the truth. I mean, I'm a mother, I'm, of course, and I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a lot of things. I'm a candle designer, you know. So
Right.
that's another thing. What is a fun fact about you that's like a craft or so that you have that we may not know about? Because I know
Yeah.
a lot of my people watch your channel. So is there anything that you would like to tell us that you have underneath, you know, your sleeves that you've been hiding from us?
Yeah, I would say, sorry, I got a notification. I know how to crochet. That's probably
Okay.
that people wouldn't expect, especially since I'm a dude. But yeah, I learned how to crochet when I was a kid. My grandmother taught me. And, you know, it's not like I do it more often now because I have a YouTube channel where I teach people how to crochet. But I usually, before I had that channel, I didn't really do it often. I would do it every so often if I wanted to relax because it really can be therapeutic. Plus, you know, when you complete whatever project you're crocheting, it's like very rewarding. It's like, wow, like I got to be artistic and I completed it. So yeah, I crochet.
That is very interesting. And how I know, and the reason why I asked is, of course, because I saw you on Instagram and, you know, I hit you up in a DM like, could
Oh,
you,
yeah.
but the funny thing is I crochet as well. I do too, but I just don't have time to anymore. You know, my baby, she's 13 going on 14. And the last time I crocheted something was when I made her baby blankets for her to come home from the hospital. So I remember checking you out and I was like, wait a minute. And you have some pretty boss stuff, I must say. You know, I love it, really. And most of us are artistic. You know, people, they, like you said, they judge us according to our hair. Again, the criminal thing and everything. I know where I live, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, some of my friends have cut their hair, especially males, have cut their hair because of the fact that people think they're gang related, or they might mistake them for somebody else, because a lot of people around here are rocking dreads and stuff. And they, you know, they're just afraid of being arrested and, you know, just whatever, or shot by somebody, you know, because they think that they're somebody else because so many people rock them, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. But what would you say? Okay, hold on, I'm gonna look. I have a couple notes that I want to make sure I touched on.
Okay.
How do you feel? What is your take on people who are rocking faux dreads?
You know, I try I try to not have too much, oh, how should I put it? I try not to have a strong opinion about what others do, because I do firmly believe that you should do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting others. And I know that's almost cliche now, but it's true. Like, if it's not affecting me, then why am I that invested in what you're doing? But I can answer the question like this. Would I get Faux Locs if, you know, I was just starting out, or even if, you know, I was only 2 years in? Would I get them? For me, it wouldn't be like gratifying, because especially now that I've had almost 7 years,
Right.
it's like, no, I know the sense of pride that I feel by doing it, I guess, the traditional way.
Right.
Around the house, all the changes, even like all the difficulties that I've had with them, just and like circumventing them, you know, overcoming those obstacles. Like, it's so rewarding, and it gives me like such an amazing sense of pride. So for me, Faux Locs, I would never consider, because to me, it's not as, I don't know, it's just, it feels different. And I know fake, right? But it's not
Right.
that it's, it's kind of like you have a starting point and then you're already at the destination, but there's no like substance in between. That's what's missing for me. So
absolutely, I have to agree on that. Because I have a friend that lives in the neighborhood, and I remember her asking. She was like, "Are you willing? Are you willing to cut your locks and sell them to me?" She was like, "Because a lot of guys in the neighborhood come to her and they get other people's locks put on their head. How do you feel about that? I mean, as far as like, to me, I mean, just having fake hair is one thing, but having somebody else's journey on your head, that is like, I don't know. I mean, that just rocked my world when I actually saw her doing that. I actually witnessed her. Somebody, I mean, he didn't have any hair on top or whatever. And she was putting in somebody else's. So it wasn't just Faux Locs, it was somebody else's journey.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean,
I know you don't want to be judgmental or anything, but that's just a kind of weird.
No, I mean, that's
selling for me.
Yeah, and I understand. And it's not like I'm afraid to like take a stance. And I'm not saying that you're saying that. Like, I don't know. I do find it kind of odd. I guess it just goes to show how desperate some people are for that end result or that specific look. Once again, though, like I would not do it because it is kind of weird to think about someone else's hair being on your head. But at the same time, think about weave, right?
Right.
And they have like real hair, I think, right? I mean,
right.
There's like fake, but they have real. So I guess it wouldn't be any different than that. And I feel like that's kind of accepted. So I don't know. It's not for me. Right. I would do it, but I guess I can kind of understand, why some people do.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and the reason I asked that is because I remember a while back, it was a big thing about Fetty Wap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm about to say, right? He paid like $4,000 literally for 40 locks, and that's what, roughly $100 per lock, and I thought that was kind of wild. But again, yeah, you're right. As a licensed cosmetologist or whatever, I never really was into weaves or anything. I think my specialty was hair color and everything. But basically it is the same thing. I mean, when you're using human hair, you're using hair off of somebody else. So, it is what it is. Whatever people like, whatever choices they make is fine with me. I don't have a problem with it. It's just, again, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? It would just feel kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
That I'm water rinse only. Yes. I don't use products. Could you tell me a little bit about how you maintain your hair? What's your maintenance like? Or, what do you believe in using for you? What works for you?
There we go.
What works for Seb?
Yeah, so I guess I'm just used to using shampoo. And I wash my hair when often my locks tell me that they need to be washed, Okay. I'm not like as rigid as, washing every 2 weeks or anything like that. But at the same time, I don't use a whole bunch of products or, many oils either. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why people have to wash their hair super often, because they're putting all that stuff in it, right? Yes. Which does expire, right? So, because I don't do the most, as I guess Yanni would say, with like products and stuff, I don't have to wash it as often as other people. So I just let my locks and my scalp tell me when to wash. And then I use conditioner, I don't know, maybe like once a year. I was watching one of Damian Walters' videos, and I actually made a video about this because, there was this like beef and back and forth about whether or not you should use conditioner and locks. And, because conditioner is kind of like it can work to like detangle your hair. So why would you use it on locks, right?
Right.
After like watching several of his videos and paying attention to like where he actually applied the conditioner, he applied it on the loose hair, right? The hair that was not yet locked yet, I guess, to prepared for when it becomes locked. And I'm like, that makes sense. It makes sense to apply, if you're going to use conditioner, to not apply it to the locked part of the hair, but to the loose hair that is not yet locked, to prepare it for later. So so I was like, okay, I felt a little bit better about using it, but like I said, I only use it like once a year.
Okay.
In terms of water rinse only, or what water washing, I don't know. I definitely don't discount it. There are many, including yourself, who, you know, swear by it. And maybe I will try it one day, but I feel like when it is finally time to wash, like, you know, whether my scalp is itching or whatever, I just feel like I need some sort of like shampoo or something to, even if it's only like, you know, psychologically, to feel like, okay, it's getting cleansed.
Right. Understandably so. And then too, you know, it doesn't work for everybody. I have to say, you know, I do have some people on my channel that it has worked for, and I have known other people that it totally did not work for. Some people, it's helped them as far as their scalp. And then some people were just like, no, it didn't work or whatever. So yeah, for me, I guess it just, my hair dries a lot faster. It was just something I tried, you know, and because I wasn't using a lot of stuff anyway. One of my friends was like making products or whatever, and I was using his black soap that he was making, and I was just like, well, let me go ahead and try this and see how it works. And then when I saw how fast my hair dried and how nice and full and fluffy it was, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be the way. Also, do you believe in doing ACV rinses? Have you done those, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I believe it can be helpful, definitely. I don't think you should do them super often, but once again, it kind of depends on how much crap.
Right.
It kind of depends on how much crap you're putting in your hair, you know?
Absolutely.
Like it's loading your locks up with stuff that, in my opinion, shouldn't be put in there, and then you're now having a hard time getting it out, then yeah, you're gonna need to do something like an ACV rinse. I have done a couple, maybe 2, 3 at the max ACV rinses over these 6+ years. And the first time I did one, I didn't really notice. Actually, all of the times I've done it, I've never gotten the murky water.
Right.
So like, if I'm doing this wrong, and like I've done it like multiple times.
Right.
But I guess that was a good thing, because that meant I didn't have a lot of, you know, stuff like
product
just
build up. Yeah.
Exactly. But I did have, you know, when it was time, because you wash after the ACV rinse, I noticed that like there was a film on, you know, the outside of my locks, which was the oils that, you know, I had used over, you know, whatever the period of time was. And so I think it can be useful, definitely, but I think that you can kind of eliminate, or at the very least reduce, how often you need to do it by reducing the amount of stuff that you put in your locks.
Absolutely. I would say, because I was doing it maybe twice a year, and again, I don't use any products. I was using like natural stuff like aloe vera gel, you know, just mostly concentrated in my gray area where it's kind of dry in this area in my crown or whatever. I was using that, and then I was telling people to use jojoba oil and distilled water just a little bit, you know, as a mixture, you know, when your hair is wet, like probably when you're in the shower or whatever. But yeah, I was doing them twice a year, but I found in the past year, even though I work out all the time and everything, I still don't feel the need to do it. I didn't do it last year. I didn't do an ACV rinse last year, and I don't think I'm gonna do one this year, unless I'm just like someplace where it's just like totally filthy, but we're not going to too many places these days, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
Exactly.
You know? I have a question. What role do you think nutrition has in dealing with your hair, your skin, or nails, all of that?
On the stick, it is a very good question. So let me just say that I definitely think that it plays a very important role. You know, what you consume and the way you know, whether it's what you eat or what you're drinking, like obviously like it plays an important role, like in in everything, you know, all of your body functions. And that includes the production of hair. So I think it's very important. Now, if you look at me and you compare me to like, you know, videos, you know, earlier, when, you know, my channel first came out, or even like my channel before the one I currently have, like I was smaller. So it kind of makes me feel like a hypocrite to say that. It's like, well, your locks are still growing well. And, you know, your strands are nice, and clearly you haven't been like the healthiest, right? But I think I've still been taking in like the appropriate nutrients, and you know, over that whole period of time, like I've still consumed a lot of water, which I think has helped.
Thank you.
You say?
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear.
So, and who knows if, you know, if I was in like the great shape that I was, which I'm working to get back to, stay tuned. But yeah, right. If I was, you know, in that great shape that I used to be in, then who knows how much longer my hair would be than it is right now. So I really do believe that water and nutrition play a very integral part in the health of your hair and your body as a whole.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel that way. And that's why I really try to incorporate onto my channel the fact of nutrition, you know, that it's very vital, you know, for your skin, your hair, your nails. A lot of people don't want to hear about it, you know, but every now and then you get a person that's like, you know, they have that aha moment where they're like, oh, okay, is that what it is? Okay, I need to drink more water. Yeah, well, maybe if you're living in Arizona, you should, you know, definitely consider, you know, drinking a gallon of water a day, period. So yeah, I think it does too, Seb. I think it really plays a great role in, you know, your hair, your skin, your nails. Looking at you, I mean, your skin is flawless to me. Your hair looks very nice. I mean, everything, you're cool. And I understand what you're saying about as far as weight. And you know me, I've had my issues and everything. And now I'm finally, you know, coming down off of, you know, from being on medications and everything. Oh, thanks, yeah. I feel good. I feel good. The energy level is like through the roof, you know, but you know, I always say that our hair is like plants. You know, the way you take care of plants is the way you should take care of your hair. You don't overwater it. You don't oversaturate it or whatever, you know, you don't have to use too much. It's not like you feeding it every day with plant food or whatever. So, you know, you should kind of treat your hair the same way. You know, some people get obsessive with like, okay, well, what products can I use? And should I do this? Should I do that? Should I, you know, do I need beeswax? You know, what should I do? Should I not wash my hair? You know, what on your channel, what is like some of the things that people have come to you and said that just kind of like wowed you, or just, you know, just anything. And I don't mean like talk about anybody or anything like that, but just, you know, just some of the ideals, because everybody don't know about hair. I mean, just because I'm a cosmetologist is the reason why I do know a lot of stuff. But, you know, what is some of the things that you may have heard that just kind of...
Yeah, one thing that I've heard is, or, you know, one question that I got recently was, I guess, so it was like this question that was kind of related to frizz, and, you know, the person was just within their first year, not even at the 1 year mark yet. And so, you know, how many of like the baby lockers are like obsessed with like eliminating frizz. And I'm like, frizz is not a bad thing, you know?
Absolutely not.
You have locks, you're gonna have frizz, like it's all part of the process. Right. And so I think they had finally gotten to a place where they were okay with, you know, with frizz basically. And then they asked like, what would happen if they didn't retwist their hair?
Right.
Nothing's gonna happen, like it's gonna be okay, you know? So I think, you know, especially like the people that are new to locks, and I remember I used to be the same way, you know, you just have so many questions. Even like when I look back to some of the things I used to wonder back in the day, you know, I'm like, why did what made me even like ask that question? Like, you know, it's no, but yeah, they don't know. So they just, they're curious. But yeah, the
Right.
retwisting and like what's going to happen if I retwist, like, I don't know, every 3 months instead of every 2 months, it's like, then that's
Right.
happen. You will be retwisting,
Exactly.
It's like, they overcomplicate it sometimes. So
I think so too. And I believe in keeping everything really, really simple.
exactly.
I've been following your channel for a while. So it's some videos that I've seen. And I've always enjoyed them. You were talking one time, I think, because I have a lot of flats. I do have a lot of flat locks, but you did a video about it, and I loved it. I thought it was quite interesting, and you were telling people, because you were telling them about how they can, remove their locks from being flat. How they can. Could you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah,
some people may not have seen that video.
Yeah, so basically, if you have flat locks, and I noticed this from my own experience, like the periods of time where I've gone months and months without retwisting, then I've had some flat locks as a result because I'm not rounding them out.
Mm-hmm.
And so all I did was, after I washed my hair, so basically you apply water to the lock and then just palm roll it. And when I say palm roll, I'm not saying like make it tight at the root. A lot of people think palm is the same thing as retwisting. They're not. You can roll without, if you go back and forth and, roughly the same amount, this is palm rolling. This part of the lock is being palm rolled, but it's not affecting my root at all. So you can roll to kind of round it back out, and while your hair is wet,
right,
and now you round it out, and and it's no longer flat. So that was it.
Yeah, I like that video. I did. I think, I'm sure I commented on it.
You did.
I did.
I remember.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like having a variation in my hair. Just for me, I like that it's certain areas, because my hair, I have different textures. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but most of us do have different textures. In certain areas of my hair is a wavier texture. It's another lady that used to be on YouTube, and she stopped doing videos, but she used to dance a lot. And she had, from the beginning, from the start, all her hair was flat. And so I started doing research about it. And, sometimes you can get flat locks from just, like you say, not palm rolling or doing anything like that. But also the wave pattern of your hair can determine, so I have, like, some that are flat and then some that are not, so it's just, I like the freedom for everyone to be able to be free to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Your journey, my journey, but we both have respect for one another. And that's how it should be. Everybody's like, I'm sure they come to you and they're like, well, I want my hair to look just like yours. And you probably say, what's your answer? I know what my answer would be. What would you tell them?
My answer is, your locks will be beautiful just how they are. So own them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always tell people, no, don't set your goal to be like mine. That's your journey. It's going to be different. Enjoy your journey. Enjoy the process. I think, like you said, a lot of people stress in the beginning about the frizz, and somebody even said, and I don't like hearing this. This is just something I don't like to hear. Untidy. I can't go with my hair looking untidy, or somebody told me my hair was untidy, so I decided to do something different, or put a wig. I'm gonna put a wig on until they grow or whatever, because it looks unkempt, and I'm just like, I don't like that. How do you feel about that? The untidiness.
It's another stigma, and that having locks means like you're unkempt, or it's untidy. I would say that, well, first of all, I was sorry, when you were saying, I was thinking about you and your locks, and you're like a freeformer, and your locks always look kempt, which I think is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me first.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember in one of my videos, I was talking about how, well, okay, so I was watching someone else's video, and he was basically apologizing because he didn't have a retwist. And this has been a common occurrence in many lockers videos. So I brought up the fact that like, I feel like people shouldn't apologize for not having a retwist, especially within the lock community, you know, like we know how it is and you don't need to have a retwist. Your locks look great as they are. So yeah, I'm definitely not all about, you know, needing to have that fresh retwist. I mean, if I took this off, like I don't have a retwist right now. I haven't twisted in a while, you know? So
I've seen a video of yours too where you talked about, I think you had went, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 months, you went a certain amount of time without retwisting.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't remember why you did it, but you had done it.
So there was one year where I went, I only retwisted once that year. And then there was another year twice. This year, I think the plan is to retwist 3 times. I've just been wanting to try out, you know, different maintenance regimens. And so basically I always said I would be a freeformer if I could, but I feel like for me now to become a freeformer, and I know that term, like we could debate it like semantically what it means. If you've ever retwisted it, you're not a freeformer, you know, all that.
If you pop your locks and you're not freeform, all that, you know.
But because I have hair that grows away from my locks, if I do maintenance at some point, then my locks will start to thin out because those hairs need to be put back. That new growth needs to be put back into my locks. So that's why I say I could not be a freeformer at this point, or my locks would thin out. You know, if I just didn't do any maintenance, then yeah, they would thin out. And I guess if I saw it all the way through, I could, you know, if locks thinned out and broke off, but then, you know, new things formed, then it would be cool. But I don't want to lose any of these that I've grown. So from my perspective, I can't be a freeformer, at least not with this lock journey.
Right. I feel you 100%. How do you feel about, and this is a big thing too, how do you feel about people who twist it, or they go to the loctician, they have their hair twisted super tight, and they wear these styles and it's pulling their edges, and I mean they're doing it consistently, like I mean month after month after month. And you know, I usually try to tell people that eventually you will notice a difference. It might not happen right away, but eventually that pulling and that twisting and those styles and stuff will take away your edges. You know, it might be 2 years. I mean, you might even go 5 years, you know, without noticing anything. How do you feel about that? I mean, what is your take about, you know, the tight, the real, you know what I mean? The real super tight, all together, like almost like plaits type styles.
I completely agree with you. Every time I see like those types of pictures, whether it's on Instagram or just online somewhere, I kind of like cringe because I'm like, oh, yeah, like it looks great, and you better hold on to it because one day.
Because when your hairline is back here.
I kind of cringe because I know traction alopecia is real. You know, it's just the same thing with like bleaching your hair. Like that's another thing that you can do to your locks, and it looks amazing. But then one day, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see the effects that bleach had on your hair. You know, when you broke those. I mean, I've seen countless Queen Empress. I've seen countless videos online of YouTubers who have said, "Yeah, that bleach part finally broke off," or all the tips where I bleached finally broke off. You know, and this is like years later. And I think because people don't, because it doesn't happen immediately, and people don't, you know, see the end result, they think it's okay, unfortunately. So
that's very true.
You know, people only want to have locks for a short period of time, and so do what you will with it, you know.
Right. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Let me see. I want to end it with a banger. Let me see.
It's almost over already. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking so much.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be over, but
Just,
Okay.
I mean, go as long as, I mean, get all your questions out.
Yeah. You know what? I think my contacts have dried out.
Uh-oh.
What's going on? Oh, this is okay. This is the banger. This is how we're going to conclude. And
Okay.
then if you have anything else to say after I ask this question, how do you feel, your honest opinion, how do you feel about when people say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and cut my hair off. I have to cut my locks. You know, I'm starting a new life. I just had a divorce. I don't want that bad energy following. I don't want it in my hair. It's all entwined in my hair. And, you know, normally I would tell people just, you don't have to cut your hair. Just go ahead and smudge, sage, you know, smudge your hair with some sage or whatever. And you good. You know, that's just my perception of doing it. I would never, I don't care who I'm with or whom I broke up with or whatever. I'm not cutting my hair because of a relationship. What is
Yeah,
your take on that, Seb?
yeah, I agree
Would
with
you
you
do
that.
it?
No, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I think that if you, I don't know, like you said, there are things that you can do to rid yourself of bad energy if that's something that you believe in, for sure, that, you know, does not involve cutting your locks. I mean, I feel like all of us, just by the very nature of living life, we go through negative times. So we all have a reason to cut off our locks because, you know, maybe something negative or negative energy is trapped in there. But I really believe that you, as an individual, can determine your own energy.
Right.
And even if there is negative energy trapped in your, like, in your locks, it doesn't have to stay there. Put some positive energy in your locks. Surround yourself by positive people.
Absolutely.
Be optimistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are
Thank
things that
you.
you do that don't involve cutting off your locks
Right.
to a more positive place.
I really appreciate you saying that because that is part of the reason why I continue to do my channel. I
Mm-hmm.
was involved in so many different groups on like Facebook or whatever, and I would hear people constantly telling people, "Oh no, you should just go ahead and cut them off. You have to start all over. Or if you wanted thicker ones, you know, instead of combining and everything, you need to just cut them off and start all over." And I'm a person who started off, you know, I had platinum blonde hair and I twisted and I did combine. I did combine because I knew how I wanted my hair to look after I started evolving. I was just like, okay, I want my hair. I don't want that many. I want them just to be thicker. And people always assume when you say thicker, they're like, how can you make your hair thicker? No, I mean a thicker lock by combining with another one, you know, so I won't have so many. And that's
Mm-hmm.
another reason why I'm not able to tell anybody, which is one of my pet peeves. How many locks do you have on your head? You know, and I'm sure you get that question too. But
Yes.
it's like, well, where do I start counting from? Do I count from the bottom? Because this is one lock. Do I start from the bottom, which is 4 down here, or do I start from the top? So I never answer that question. And I'm just like, it really doesn't matter. But that is one of my pet peeves, you know, as far as that goes. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's interesting, you know, people's take on whatever. I stay on YouTube. I sometimes I have to take a break or whatever, but I do like to just continuously educate people because of my background in cosmetology since 1988 or whatever, you know, just to, it's so much misinformation out here. It's a lot. Would you agree? It's a lot of people that's just like, they're doing their journey and they're learning as they go. And, you know, again, I always tell people, whether I'm talking about nutrition or whether I'm talking about dreadlocks or whatever, everybody is different. What works for me may not work for you. What I put in my body said may not work for you. You know, I might say I drink 3 green smoothies a day, and guess what? I lost like 5 pounds a week. And you might do it and you say, well, I gained 5 pounds, so now I'm mad at you. You know what I mean? So we're all different, you know, and you got to find what really works for you, you know. And in closing, I want you just to come with something that you can leave for somebody that is just starting off, like today. Give them a word or some advice of how to live and understand that their journey is going to be their journey, whatever you choose to say. I mean, just, somebody's just starting out. Somebody might be watching this video and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on with my hair. What would you tell them?
I would say to just relax. Locks, when you get locks, it's supposed to be, it's supposed to lead you to a simpler life where your hair is concerned. And when you have locks is the sort of thing that it's going to take time. Like, you cannot get away from time. It takes time to see your hair progressing to that, that end result of having your locks locked up. So it's important to do your research beforehand, and say you've done your research and now you have your starter locks. You can develop a routine, something that you're going to adhere to, but definitely pay attention to your locks. Let them tell you what they need. You, as you massage your locks, when you look at your locks, maybe if you use oils or whatever, basically use those moments as an opportunity to see what's happening with your locks. And they will tell you what they need. If they're dry,
I agree. Just like plants.
Exactly. You look at the soil, you stick your finger in there to feel, okay, is it dry? Things like that. Pay attention to your locks, but don't obsess over them and don't stress out about them. It's going to happen.
Patience is key. I think that's like number one. If I was to say anything, I would say just be patient. Just be patient with it, Seth, I really appreciate you coming on my channel. Thank you so much. I really do. We were trying to get together. Something was trying to keep us apart, but hey,
we made it.
You can't keep light apart. You can't.
There you go.
No matter how much darkness try to come in between us, nothing can, shadow this light at all. I continue to watch you. I can't wait to see your next videos. I would love to be on one of your videos one day. If you would have me, that would be great.
Of course.
I'm definitely available and down for that. Since you came on my channel and you're the first person who came on my channel that I actually just spoke to about, dreadlocks. And I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you.
For having me. I'm on Queen Empress's channel. How amazing is
that? You are so crazy. Seb, I'm gonna put your information in the description box. Would you like to give everybody your Instagram though? You can, give them your Instagram, your YouTube page.
Yeah, it's just atreyulocs. It used to be Seb Atreyu, but I changed it back to my name, which is atreyulocs. And if you find me on YouTube, there's the Instagram icon, but it's also the same name, atreyulocs.
Okay, and I'm gonna make sure that I put it in the description box so that they can come over to your channel and rock with you as well.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. They need to come over. I mean, because sometimes men want to see other men, on the journey, and sometimes some men want to be with women. My channel is predominantly women now. It started off more men, and then that kind of dropped off, and now it's more women. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever people feel comfortable with, and it's cool. It's enough of us to go around.
Amen.
All right, Seb, thank you so much. This video is going up today. It actually is going up in less than 30 minutes. So look for it, share it. Everybody, thanks, Seb, for being here. Always been a soft-spoken, very positive brother that I've seen in every video. I mean, I've never seen anything less than positivity in your channel, and that's why I continue to watch you. You know what I mean? So with that being said, thank you, and we'll be live pretty soon.
All right.
20 minutes, I hope. All right. All right, Seb. Thank you so much for being here with us.
You're welcome. I'll see you later.
And when I say us, I'm talking about Lucky was right here. I'm surprised he didn't jump up in my lap. All right, Seb. I'll be in touch, okay?
Yes, ma'am. All right.
All right. Peace and love.
Bye. Peace and love.